have that spirit कि औरों से अलग हूँ, कुछ अलग करके दिखाऊंगी, उतारो मुझे जिस क्षेत्र में सर्वश्रेष्ठ बन के दिखाऊंगी. Blabber all day. Interesting place, huh?
Perfect place for Women's Day.
Oh, इसके लिए जानबूझ के ये किया है क्या उन्होंने select?
वो मुझे पता नहीं, but I'm sure that we are going to blabber all day talking about women and finance and all that.
इतने common topics.
Oh, okay.
Blabber उधर continue कर ले.
चलो, let's go.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 3 of Life Unscripted. Well, it's a bright and sunny day outside and I have a bright lady with me right inside this amazing cafe. What a beautiful place, isn't it, Vidya?
Absolutely, Rachana.
Right. The vibe
it's
is
a beautiful
amazing.
day. And what a nice day to connect with you. It's a privilege to be with one of the leading finance influencers in the country. So, absolute pleasure to be with you here today.
So, today for me, traveling from Pune to Mumbai was a task. But I have heard quite often that traveling from Mumbai to Mumbai is also a task.
Within Mumbai itself is a task, let alone going from one city to the other. We have multiple cities within the same city.
What do you feel? Pune is better or Mumbai is better?
That's a tricky question. I'm staying in Mumbai, so obviously I'll go with Mumbai.
All right. Of course, Pune has to be the best though. But if I ask one thing, we are going to be at a very common, agenda, finance or any other place.
Absolutely. Finance. Goes without saying.
Right. So in fact, talking about finance, I can definitely, I was just trying to visualize. Today we are here in this nice cafe with a juice right in front of us. We are talking about finance. Even if I talk about 25 years before, do you think that two ladies would have had a conversation around finance just 25 years ago?
Absolutely not.
And I think the pace at which the awareness of finance has increased in women especially, that's truly mind-blowing, right?
True. We've come a long way. I think society has evolved so much over the past 2 decades. You rightly said, this was unthinkable probably even 2 decades back, but now we have 2 women who've done pretty well in their own respective careers, and I think things are going for the good.
Cool. I will definitely take time to talk about my career, but first let me ask you about your career. So पहले के ज़माने में, like my nani used to tell me, कि it was very common कि हर महीने थोड़ा maybe 1 gram, 2 gram सोना purchase करना, उसको अच्छे से manage करना funds को. That was very common. At that time, managing finance was pretty common amongst women, but doing a career, and especially in the field of finance, was like beyond imagination is what I feel. But then from that era to fast forward in today's era, I think the women participation in the field of finance is way better. Though not up to the mark is what I personally feel, but definitely has been going up. Would really want to know from you as to how you chose this career in the field of finance. How did you enter ICICI Pru? Just would want to know your story a little bit.
So to be frank, Rachana, it was not a conscious plan at all to get into the field of finance. It's just sort of happened. I jokingly tell everyone I'm like one of those people whom Amir Khan talks about in the movie 3 Idiots. I did electronics engineering, then I did MBA in finance. I got into investment banking and finally ended up with fund management. So clearly I'm not one of those people who was clear about their passion, who knew what to do right from the beginning. I just sort of went with the flow. But yes, there has been one guiding light which has been with me throughout, and that has been the drive and the desire to excel in whatever I do.
Amazing.
So whether it was topping my class during engineering or MBA or becoming one of the youngest fund managers, the pursuit of excellence has always driven me. And when we talk about the world of finance, it is so amazing. And I would want to congratulate you here, Rachana. Actually, you've been one of the shining lights in India who's actively busting the myth that, women cannot excel in finance. You've been an inspiration to so many women out there by, de-jargonizing the financial concepts, making them understand. If I have to talk about my own industry, women as fund managers don't even constitute even 10% of that. And this is despite the fact that women fund managers have done as well. So clearly something's amiss.
Exactly.
And actually, if you deep dive and find out the reason, in my view, I think the reason is more to do with a very deep-rooted societal stroke cultural reason. I think in the Indian context, as you said earlier, in the past, it was primarily the men who were calling the shots, because they were who were the one who were going out. They were the sole breadwinners. Women used to stay back and manage the households. Before marriage, it was their fathers and the brothers who used to take care of their finances. And after marriage, it was their husbands. So to say their exposure to the outside financial world was very limited. But we've come such a long way now. Society has significantly evolved in the past 2 decades. I mean, needn't go out anywhere and look. You look at our own country. It's the 5th largest economy in the world. And who's running the finances of the country? It's a lady, Nirmala Sitharaman.
And who's the SEBI chairperson? Again,
absolutely,
a lady.
Absolutely. And women have built such massive empires. You look at Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, you look at Vinita Singh of Sugar, you look at Falguni Nayar. So, time and again, women have proved that they are not just capable of managing the monthly expenses, but beyond that, they are also capable of managing their own finances and even building massive empires. So therefore, it is more imperative now, I believe, more than ever, given that times are changing, women are also stepping out, that we emphasize the importance of investment planning for women.
Recently I heard that you won an award as one of the top fund managers in the fixed income market category.
Yeah.
I'm sure that our viewers have heard about stock market.
True.
But what is this fixed income market? If you can just, break it down in a very simplified manner for them.
Sure. So I work with ICICI Prudential Life Insurance in the investments team as a senior fixed income fund manager. So very briefly, if I have to explain, what does a fixed income fund manager do? Well, essentially, the company collects premiums from policyholders like you and me. All that money gets pooled into different funds. And as a fund manager, our role is to manage these funds by investing in different asset classes.
Got it.
So it's as simple as that. In a stock market, you invest in stocks.
Yeah.
In a fixed income market, you invest in government securities and corporate bonds. So that's in a very, very simple terms, that's what I do.
What, according to you, has improved because of which the participation of women has increased? Because like you rightly pointed out that earlier, I mean, before marriage, it's the father who would guide their daughters in the money management process. Post marriage, they're going to ask their husband.
True.
But now I'm sure that the overall confidence amongst women has definitely increased.
Right.
Again, may not be up to the mark, but it is on an increasing trajectory.
True.
What are those triggers that instill more and more confidence amongst women ki haan, main bhi kar sakti hu? What do you feel?
I think there are multiple factors to it, but primary is education. The access to education for women has just increased manifold. And I think even as a generation, people are becoming more and more aware that ladki hai to ghar pe nahi bithana hai. Unko bhi padhai karao. Get them out. Let them become financially independent before you push them into marriage and all those sort of, societal norms. So the generational change has happened. As parents, people are also becoming aware that beta or beti mein antar nahi rakhna hai. They also need to be given equal opportunity. Exactly. And women themselves are also, because they are getting educated, they are becoming socially aware, financially aware. True. Today's women are so well educated, they are confident, they are ambitious, and they want financial independence for themselves. That's a very, welcome change that we are seeing in the society.
Absolutely. And earlier, it was said ki agar if a woman is educated, then the whole family is educated.
Absolutely.
I think we should copy paste this for if a woman is financially educated, then the whole family is also financially educated. Because, right now, even if I'm talking to my son, the exposure that he gets, because his dad is going to talk about finances, if I also talk about finances, if that becomes a dining table discussion, then I'm sure the next generation is going to be more and more inquisitive about this. Even my niece also keeps on asking me questions around finances that, I heard you talk about XYZ things and could you help me explain that?
Correct.
So these days, even teenagers are finding more and more interest in this field of finance. And I think it is upon people like you and me who are, maybe I should not say even like looked upon to some, I should not, upgrade ourselves right away. But I'm sure they take some source of inspiration from us for sure.
Absolutely.
And I think it's upon us that we should inspire more and more from the younger generation, right? So talking about aspirations, I think these days social media has built in that additional trigger of having more and more aspirations, living a life which is larger than life, right? In fact, recently I also came across a term which is called as YOLO, YOLO, and it's like you only live once.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So if that be so, people are really aiming higher and higher. In fact, I'm a big Bollywood buff. I'm going to keep on getting examples in my mind. You know, pehle only Amitabh Bachchan used to say कि मेरे पास गाड़ी है, building है, bank balance है. I mean, women are aspiring for all of these things. So in fact, I read about a data point that women are demanding more loans as compared to men, and especially this data was a little bit forward-looking data. Okay, so it said that if I'm talking about the next 5 years, upcoming 5 years, the CAGR at which men will demand loans, uske comparison mein the CAGR of women demanding loans is a shade higher. So अगर वो loan भी ले रहे हैं and अगर उनको loan मिल रहा है मतलब वो पैसे भी अच्छे खासे कमा रहे हैं.
True.
So I feel that women should definitely look at one more angle rather than looking only at investment management, investment planning. I think there is one more area that they should look very seriously at, and that is insurance planning. Oh, Bollywood का कीड़ा रुक ही नहीं रहा है मेरे अंदर. You know, there was one more Shah Rukh Khan movie, if you allow me.
Please go on.
We learn so many things about finance from Bollywood, you know.
Absolutely.
So there was one dialogue which said, क्या पता कल हो ना हो. So अगर पता नहीं है तो insurance ले लो ना यार. नहीं पता. That's the best way to insure yourself. So I would want you to throw some light both on insurance planning and investment planning.
Sure. When we talk about investment planning for women, we talked so much about women today aspiring for more financial independence, etc. And there are very two critical aspects when you talk about financial independence. First is to do with your financial security. Like if in case of any adverse, unforeseen circumstance, what is the financial net or safety that you have provided for your family? The second is to do with a robust and a well-diversified investment and savings portfolio. And quite frankly, insurance is the only product which serves both these needs. If you noticed, I very deliberately talked about two key aspects, because I think when most people talk about insurance is to address only with respect to the first aspect, which is the financial protection. Like, you know, in very simple terms, you take an insurance. If you pass away, then, you know, your family has that sort of financial support to carry on. Make no mistake, this is a very important and a very serious purpose which is served by insurance. But certainly this is not the only purpose which is served by insurance, and that is why I talked about the second aspect, which is around the entire savings thought process. You know, today insurance offers such a beautiful bouquet of products that addresses various needs of your financial goals. So whether it is protection, of course, to long-term wealth creation, to your retirement planning needs, to tax planning, to your child's higher education, you name it and you have it. Right? So when we are talking about women's financial independence, their need for investment planning, I would want to highlight 5 very, very critical reasons why I believe that women today should very seriously look at having insurance as a part of their overall portfolio. You know, I would never say put all your eggs in one basket. Have different investments, but definitely have insurance also as one of the key products in your portfolio. First and foremost, which you talked about, is the life cover. You know, you have also very extensively covered about the term plans in some of your videos. And I would really urge every person, whether it is a man or a woman, to have a very simple term cover as a part of their overall portfolio. So how does a term cover work? You know, very simply put, you pay a predefined premium amount every year. And in case of death, the company pays a lump sum amount to your family. Right? So that's how it works. But if you notice a very funny but a very unfortunate thing, if you notice most of the ads, what is portrayed? The man who's the primary breadwinner of the house, he is financially handling everything. You know, suddenly one day he dies, and how the wife and the children who have been
Yeah.
financially dependent on him, they are left helpless. And at that time, they wish, oh, how good it would have been had I had a life insurance policy. While it is true in some cases, but what is also true that today women are also contributing a very meaningful part to the household income.
It's
And
more or
also-
less like a double engine which is working.
Absolutely.
2 income streams are
Correct.
flowing into the family.
Correct. And also not to forget the fact that there are single women also who are on the rise. And even if the woman is a homemaker, in case anything were to happen to her, it can put immeasurable financial stress on the family. So the point being that it is as critical for a woman to have a simple life cover as it is for a man. So that is point number one. The second reason I believe is to have a critical illness benefit. You know, most term insurance policies these days, they come with something called as a critical illness payout. So what this means is, let's say you take an insurance policy and you have this benefit attached to it. Even if you don't die, but you are diagnosed with a critical illness, then immediately a lump sum amount is paid to you, which can be so handy for the treatment of your situation, right? And especially in case of women, it becomes more important because if you see specific health conditions like breast cancer or cervical cancer are very specific to women. And these cases are on the rise if you see the last 2 decades. Therefore, I would really urge all women to have firstly a simple term cover and have this critical illness benefit added on to that. The third point is my favorite point actually, and I really like talking about it again and again. It's that it's super cost effective for women to buy insurance policy.
Okay.
Yeah, because statistically it's been proven that women tend to live longer than men.
Okay.
So you as a woman, if you go to buy a life insurance policy, it is very cheaper for you. And another point which I would want to stress here when we are talking about, you know, having these policies is that try and buy insurance early.
Absolutely.
Because what happens is when you buy insurance early, when you're in your 20s, it's much cheaper for you. So start early, plan it beforehand, you know, that really helps you in the long run. The fourth point is about long-term wealth creation. As I mentioned earlier, when we talk about insurance, it's morely to do with a protection product rather than an investment product. But it is as much as an investment product as it is a protection product. And the case in point is your unit-linked the products. So what are the unit-linked products, or in the insurance parlance we say ULIPs? Beauty of a unit-linked product is you can switch between different asset classes n number of times without any charges. So आज equity अच्छा लग रहा है, equity fund में पैसा डाल दो. 2 साल बाद लग रहा है equity अभी अच्छा नहीं करेगा, shift that into fixed income portfolio. You can keep doing that n number of times. No charges, and it is super flexible to do that.
Who can take this decision of shifting? Is it the fund manager who takes the decision, or even the
investor, as a policy holder?
Okay.
So as a policy holder, when you buy a unit linked product, you, let's say today you feel that you equities are going to do well for the next 2 years, you go and invest in an equity ULIP fund. 2 साल the fund has done extremely well. Now you think, yeah, equity ka play khatam ho gaya. Now let me invest into some other asset class. You just give a request. The very day the money is switched into, there is no entry charge, no exit charge, nothing. It's a very, very flexible sort of play that you have. So, it's a very great tool for you for wealth creation. So ULIP, unit-linked product come very, very handy when you want to build your corpus over a period of time. Fifth point is again from your retirement perspective. Your post-retirement needs. With all the medical advancements, your longevity is increasing. So, therefore, planning your post-retirement life is also equally important.
True.
So, for example, I've taken a policy which is called as a guaranteed income for tomorrow. We call it as GIFT. So, how it essentially works is you pay a premium for the next 10 years or 15 years. Once the premium payment term has ended, for the next 20, 30, 40 years, you are guaranteed an income.
Okay.
You don't have any product which is so long-term in nature. So let's say I'm 40 today. I've taken a plan in which I pay the premium every year till I'm 50. Then for the next 30 years, let's say I choose the policy. So till the age of 80, I will get a guaranteed income. And up to 5 lakhs, it is tax-free.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. So that's why these 5 critical points I wanted to highlight that, of course, have a variety of financial instruments under your portfolio. But insurance, both as a protection tool as well as a wealth creation tool you should have in your overall portfolio.
Superb. I think for content creators, it is very common to have top 5 things for this, top 5. You not being a content creator, I've also, done it so well.
Your effect is rubbing off on me.
But amazing. I think cool learnings, superb learnings, and in a very simplified way, you have put out the 5 advantages of having an insurance.
So Rachana, we talked so much about insurance. Yeah. Let me shift the focus to you. You've done such a great job when it comes to financial literacy. You've been running this fantastic, channels in English, Hindi, and Marathi. You are reaching out to so many people out there, imparting financial knowledge in such broken down, simple terms. I would want to hear some personal sort of stories from you, which
Sure.
you would want to share, that how you've been able to connect with people who've been deprived of the normal conventional way of learning.
Sure. So typically what happens is that whenever I talk to my other influencers who are in the same space, I have got to know from them that the typical male female split for finance channel is around 85% males, 15% females on a higher side. Okay. And I would proudly want to share that my Marathi channel has a 65-35 split. So 35% of the women are consuming finance as a content. So it makes me feel really good that it's about giving that opportunity to them,
right,
to help them understand about these terms in the most simplified manner. And what I understood from whatever feedback I get, I mean, to be honest, when I started my channel, I was not sure how will I get the feedback. पहले से लगता था सिर्फ शायद comment section से पता चलेगा. But nowadays, whenever I'm walking on the streets, there are so many people who come up to me, who have a word with me, who give actual feedbacks to me. So it's so wonderful to hear their stories and feel so good that maybe that 1% change at least I was able to bring in their lives. So would just want to share 1 or 2 stories. Right? Recently I was at the airport and there was a lady who had her, I think, 9 or 10 months old baby in her hands, and she walked up to me. She said, Rachana Tayi, I watch your channel, the Marathi channel has made wonders. Because she said, so even though I understand English, because my parents are from tier 3 cities, they are more comfortable learning in Marathi. So she said they are also watching your channel, but as far as I'm concerned, she mentioned that after listening to one of your videos, which is about Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, I started an SSY account for her baby, is what she told. And she said that I have definitely made up my mind that when it is about her education expenses, be it normal education, be it higher education, she said, I'm going to plan her entire education by myself.
That's so nice to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that there are 2 steps in the investment journey. I think first is instilling that confidence.
True.
And second thing is actually putting the money. At least by watching the videos, I thought
you're able to bridge the gap.
Exactly. So that would be great, and I'm so happy that I get to hear such stories.
Man, it's very, very heartening to hear such stories, right? When in real life you are able to see the impact that you are making on people. And Rachana, it's so heartening to hear such stories when you're able to see real life, how you're able to connect, and make some difference in the normal people's lives. So really very, very heartening to know that. And I think it is also important, given that we are around the corner to celebrating Women's Day, that instead of stereotyping Women's Day with flowers and chocolates, it is time we understand that women, personal finance, investing and financial freedom are a fantastic mocktail, just like the beautiful mocktail that we are having today. And when women are shattering all glass ceilings at workplace and have made their way all the way to the top, it is time we push for their financial freedom, financial independence, make way for financial inclusivity, and also make sure that we uplift each other.
Absolutely.
Right? And also that, life insurance isn't just about insurance. It's a partner in your journey towards financial security and financial savings, importantly. So empower yourself with a policy which grows with you.
Fantastic.
And a quick word to all my fellow women out there. Please take care of yourself, take care of your health, empower yourself, invest in yourself, and sky is the limit. The world is your oyster.
Amazing. And I'll start from the word empowerment that you mentioned right now. Have that spirit कि औरों से अलग हूँ, कुछ अलग करके दिखाऊंगी, उतारो मुझे जिस क्षेत्र में सर्वश्रेष्ठ बन के दिखाऊंगी.
क्या बात है.
So I think women have that zeal inside themselves. It's just about to bring it out and prove yourself.
Absolutely.
Well, it was amazing interacting with you, Vidya. And like we started, I think we should bring it to a full circle. We started with two women talking about finance around the Women's Day and breaking that stereotypes. And I must say that this was an amazing morning that I spent with you. Got to learn so much from you, and was truly, I can say, meaningful morning that I spent with you for sure.
It was an absolute pleasure to interact with you. So
Amazing.
happy about it.
Cool. I'm sure like we enjoyed this entire discussion, so did you. But out of this entire discussion, if you still have any doubts, don't forget to ask your doubts in the comment section below. We would be more than happy to answer your queries.